Everybody got your Devo for the day? We're going to be hanging out today at Hebrews chapter 11. If you're following my reading plan, the Life Journal reading plan, go ahead and read Hebrews chapters 9, 10, and 11. Chapters 9 and 10 do a really good job of proving the point of what the devotion yesterday was about grace. Does a really good job of just kind of unpackaging that a lot more, and even gives us some guidelines so that we realize that grace itself by God is not licensed to live however we want. Go ahead and read that, Hebrews chapters 9 and 10. And then today, I want to talk about Hebrews chapter 11. Now, Hebrews chapter 11 talks about something that's really close to me, and it's this word, it's faith. Let's talk about faith, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things in the coffee. Okay, no, really, let's just talk about faith. So, faith, it says in the very beginning of Hebrews chapter 11, says, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. And it says this is what the ancients were commended for. And he begins by giving us the very foundation of faith, the first argument for faith. By faith. If you're with me, say it with me. By faith. Okay, by faith we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is now seen was not made out of what was visible. So we have the whole world was made out of invisible things, starting with the voice of God. And it's funny because the voice of God is so powerful and creative that it creates tangible things. When God speaks, it creates tangible things in your life. And what we need to do is put faith in the voice of God so that we can tangibly grab hold of the will of God. Now that's what faith will do to you. Some of you might be very confused, but that's okay. Now, if you read through chapter 11 of Hebrews, you'll start seeing these stories of people who lived by faith. And I'm not going to tell you all of those. As a matter of fact, at the end of chapter 11 in Hebrews, the author, Paul, basically says, hey, I'm not even going to unpackage this whole thing for you. I'm not even going to talk about Gideon. I'm not even going to talk about these people, because if you should already know that they were people of faith. And so you know what? Look it up for yourself. I love that he says that. Look it up for yourself. You know it's true. Just look it up for yourself. So faith is very important. Now, what makes faith so important? It's the pleasing factor. It's the pleasure factor. You know, in verse 6 of chapter of Hebrews 11 says this. It says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Impossible. Nothing you do, nothing you say, nothing you sell, nothing you sacrifice, no going to church, none of these things are good enough. Faith pleases God. And it goes on. Anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists, that's the beginning, that God exists, and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Now, what's the reward of seeking after God? Well, you seek after God and you find him. He promises, anyone who seeks after me will find me. And when you find Christ, you soon will find yourself in him. And you soon will find yourself in his promises. You soon will find yourself as a person of faith and an heir of promise. And so faith is very important. Faith is not always easy to have. Faith is when you're David said, in the Psalms, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for I know my God is with me, and his rod and his staff, they comfort me. Now, could he see God? No. Could he hear God? No. But faith gave him comfort, because he knew no matter what, God was with him. And even if he were to perish, he'd be with God forever. And so win-win when you have a faith life. And so I want to challenge you today to listen for what God has for you, and not to put faith in the whether God shows up for you or not, or whether it seems like you feel blessed today, so today you're going to put faith in the tangible thing. I want to challenge you to have faith in a good God, even if your situation doesn't seem perfect. Have faith that there's a good God with a good plan, and that if you will seek after him, his promises will unfold in your life in ways that you could never imagine. Now, go and have faith, give hope, and be love in this community.